Hello viewers, you're joining me here today at Wimbledon Stadium where we're here for the Dirt Showdown event. Here we see some lucky journalists and racing fans who are going to get a race in their first taste of real banger racing action. As we look at some of the cars on display, they've got some of the real cars done up and they're going to go out in their first race, and we're going to see Ross Racing today as well, representing for VVV. But first, let's take a look at this first race, see how these guys got on, while we interview also Christian Stevenson. That's going to be coming up, as well as a look at the game and an interview with the developers as well, answering all of your questions. But first, let's check out this first race, see what it's all about. Okay viewers, so this is the professionals then who go out first. This is their gentle run just to show people how it's done. This was the first of several runs during the day. By the end of the day, these cars will end up completely torn apart. It's an 8-ball event. You can see in action here, lots of bashing in action. Obviously the experts know how to hit each other and take the hits. I think whenever anyone gets into a banger race for the first time, they're always going to be a little bit tentative, and the 8-ball can be very risky indeed. They're very close with a lot of crossovers, more so in the later races. I think they were quite conscious that they didn't want to smash the cars to pieces before anyone got a chance to drive them. We do see some spins like that though, the old Scooby-Doo van being spun round there. Certainly some damage being done here and there. Saying that, I think there was more damage done by some of the drivers later in the race actually, by simply not changing gear. We'll have a look at that in just a moment. So a bit of action in the middle there. School bus avoiding it. I think his front end was a little bit weak, to be honest. You wouldn't really want to go headlong into a T-bone there. The two cars were pretty quick. Oh, just going to say that knock there actually did a fair bit of damage, and you'll see afterwards the radiator there is busted. What amazed me was how quick the mechanics work. If you've ever been to a banger race, they take the car, fix it in 15 minutes, it's ready to run again, even though it's completely broken down. Fantastic. So at least it wasn't raining during this event. Good grip. Everyone was able to get round and really hammer their cars round. The fireworks over the line. Nice bit of atmosphere. As the guys all there continue doing their touring laps, loads of fun before lining up at the end. And you can see the damage there to the Jeep, not good. It's quite a smash, but either way it certainly suits the part. After that, it was time for a chat with the developers. They did their first sort of introduction to the game, mainly for those who hadn't seen it before, going through some of the different modes and what we can expect, everything else. That's Clive Moody there, and we have an interview with him coming later in the videos. So for him it was a brief explanation, and we can see here one of the sort of the latest code, if you like, running the 8-ball. I'm sure many of you have been playing the demo online as well. Do give me your thoughts on that. Again, graphics have constantly improved on it to this point, and just showing the crash replays and all the rest of it that they've got in there. The developer interview will follow on another video that we'll have coming up in the next week or so. And if you do have any questions for the developers on this game, do let me know. We're going to be meeting the developers soon, having a chat with all the guys involved in every aspect. So if you've got any questions, throw them at me and I'll see if I can get some of those in front of the developers for you. That'll be towards the end of the month. So an introduction then to the different modes, what you can expect, how the game works, and you know, everything else that's going to be a part of it. And we'll be covering this in some very detailed review coverage within the next couple of weeks. But from this, it was now time for me to have an interview with the voice of Dirt himself, Mr. Christian Stevenson, the man who's also suggested a lot of the music for Dirt, which has been fantastic in Dirt 3. And we'll have a word with him now, see what he thinks of this game and what he's been up to. Hello viewers, so I'm joined today by Christian Stevenson, the voice of Dirt Showdown. So Christian, showbiz man of the world, loving the jacket by the way.
Thanks. I got this in San Francisco. It was the day of the pre-launch over there, and I was shopping with the Horrors. You know, I know Madonna and Bowie told me to quit name dropping, but yes, I was shopping with the Horrors. I was trying to buy some kind of Afro funk for a wedding I'm DJing for Paul Coleman, who's one of the guys behind this game. He's getting married this weekend. And I was going down a thrift store shopping after buying all my vinyl. I was trying to find a blue tuxedo, sky blue tuxedo jacket with the velvet, something out of Back to the Future, and then this was on the wall.
Absolutely. Now you mentioned Back to the Future, I see the inspiration there.
Oh, dude, you're wearing this, dude. I want you wearing this. We're going to get you trending on Instagram, dude. The Stars and Stripes leather jacket of awesomeness in Allen. Okay?
VVV. No, I've got to say, actually, showbiz, you've travelled the world, you've seen lots of parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How did you get involved in this world of DJing and music and parties and excess?
And video games? Well,
excess.
I've always been into music, which is one of the reasons I think they brought me in to do the soundtracks. I like throwing a party. I like entertaining people. It all came from my mother dressing up as Wonder Woman and sitting on a men's lap. Yeah, she got hired to go to men's conventions and do that. Mom, you're awesome. She was the disco queen of the East Coast. So that kind of show-offiness came from Mom. Yeah. My dad's a greeting card salesman for Hallmark, so he was a bit more demure and kind of more thinker. Anyway, I used to make snowboard films back in the 90s. Yeah. And Sony PlayStation, the first one, sponsored like one of my films. I was living in a school bus, driving around the world. And one of the dudes that worked there, Guy Pearce, was brand director, Codemasters, and he said, dude, I want that vibe from what you do on your snowboard movies in Dirt 2. And that started the love affair. That's so then I started voicing soundtrack work and just bringing the party atmosphere to the games, because I think people want to have fun playing games. I think it's fun being serious, but and it's cool for those people that want to do that. But if you want to have a laugh, we're hopefully going to give you that situation to guffaw in. I didn't think I'd use the word guffaw today.
Well, I've got to say, actually, I was listening to the Dirt Showdown, and there's a Talladega Nights reference in there. If you're not first, you're last. So if you're not first, you're last. Yeah. Son, you got to control your fear. Because you got to shake and. Oh, you didn't say it. Bake.
Yeah. That's not in the game, is it? I didn't nick that.
It's not. No, just the main line. I just heard it straight away and thought, Ricky Bobby, inspiration. Yeah. You've done loads of stuff with the music, with the Monster Guys and stuff like that. Yeah. Actually, tell me an adventure, a party, an adventure, something you've been on that was the most crazy experience you've had. And I'm sure you've had a few, but just think of one.
I almost died climbing an active volcano in Ecuador. It was 19,500 foot, and I was with a bunch of pro snowboarders, and I had so much camera kit on me because I was the cameraman as well, that I couldn't bring my snowboard. So I actually had to walk up and walk down. I didn't get to ride down. Anyway, I got to the top about midnight. I got to base camp at midnight. Got to the top at 8 in the morning, and then I just wanted to eat. And I got there and they go, no, we have to go. We have to go down. Yeah, as you do. I wouldn't mind resting and eating right now because I'm really tired. And they go, oh no, we have to go because all the crevasses will start melting through and we'll fall through and we'll lose you. Yeah. I go, well then we're gonna go down then. And as I started going down, I was tied to two guys who didn't speak any English, and I fell off a cliff. Yeah. But luckily I was tied to somebody as I'm dangling off this cliff trying to get my ice crampons in. That was pretty crazy. But the better one was I was DJing 5,000 metalheads at Grass Pop in Belgium a couple summers ago. And they just do whatever you say. So I told them all to split up, and I did a Braveheart, like a wall of death. And then I looped Lamb of God's Redneck, and then I sent it in, and they all came charging at each other. Only killed 2 people.
Amazing.
There's lawsuits pending, but no one died. There was a black eye and some scarring, but scars are cool, right?
Absolutely, yes. And they're done the right way. I think controlling the crowd must be a great feeling. Yeah. So, Dirt Showdown then, have they given you flexibility to add what you want to add to it? Have you had any kind of input in that way? Yeah,
I had more flexibility on this game than I've had on the last 2. I mean, the other 2, I got to improv a lot of my VO, but mainly in the studio when I'm actually doing all the voice acting, a bit beforehand. But this one, they actually gave me the entire script and said, well, we've written 5 lines for a T-bone. Can you give us something else? So I was like, well, I'm getting kind of tired of saying T-boning, so I would say perpendicular awesomeness, or if it's a really good smash, I'd be like, warm metal blanket of destruction.
I heard juicy T-bone.
Juicy T-bone. Yeah, exactly. That kind of wrote itself, doesn't it? Well observed, dude. Yeah, so I had a lot more flexibility. I had a lot more fun with this one. This is the game I've been waiting to make, because I like having a good time. I liked playing Twisted Metal. I liked playing Grand Theft Auto 3. Those are fun games for me. This is the funnest game we've made since Micro Machines.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. You mentioned Micro Machines, you mentioned Twisted Metal World Tour, which I played a lot back in the day.
That was awesome, wasn't it?
It was knocking over the Eiffel Tower.
Who were you, dude? I was roadkill.
Honestly, I can't remember now.
If you put up, down, right, triangle, right shoulder, left shoulder, triangle, square, you can get homing napalm. So you can turn roadkill's napalm into a homing napalm. Boom!
you know what? I missed that.
I told him to put it in. They go, Christian, we're not putting homie napalm in Showdown. I'm like, Showdown 2?
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you, Christian, it's all busy for you. What's next for you on the horizon? Where do you go to after this?
Doing the Olympics. I tried out for the Olympics, not as an athlete, but as an MC, DJ, and for the BMX, and we got it. So I'm going to be there hosting and DJing and bringing a party vibe to the Olympics. That's my bucket list. That and a gay wedding in Tuscany. So anybody gay out there that's going to get married in Tuscany, I would love to go. So I can just check those 2 off my bucket list.
There you go. Christian is available.
Thanks,
Christian,
Alan.
thank you very much for your time today. You're going too far.
It's okay.
And that's it for now, viewers. We're going to have more on that soon.
Hey, watch Alan's blogs. He's the best. I watch him. He knows what he's talking about. He loves good games. He likes fun games, and he's actually good at it. So watch his blogs because they're rad.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that, Christian. Thank you.
No worries.
That was a really nice mention from Christian there. Quite taken aback, actually. He enjoys the channel. He watches a lot of the videos I put up, and it's always nice when you meet somebody who actually watches your videos and you watch their work and everything else. It's, you know, really makes it all worthwhile. Of course, the races had been continuing. Some of the journalists had a chance to go out in the car. You can see the yellow school bus. Unfortunately, the journalist who was in it earlier didn't shift out of second gear for the entire race, which meant he damaged the engine in more ways than one, so that needed to be pushed away and to be fixed. Unfortunately, Ross was then granted the yellow school bus as his vehicle that he was going to race in for VVV, which basically meant we'd be lucky to finish the race. But either way, he gives it a good going. Monster Energy, that truck seems to appear everywhere, doesn't it? We're always seeing it. So I was having a little tour now finally of the different vehicles as they were rolled out again. I think this might have been just slightly earlier, as you can see there. That was slightly earlier before that all got smashed in. They all started so pristine, didn't they? Nice and clean. They didn't end this way by the end of the day. But let's crack on with the race coverage now and see how we fared in that. This is a good race, definitely worth watching. Okay, so here we are then. Ross is in his van now, the rubbish school van that's been around earlier that's broken down a little bit already. They've been trying to get it working. Carburetor was all over the place. They've put it all back together again. Here we are. So Ross, thoughts for the race?
I'm going to be at the back. That's pretty much my interpretation. Unless I start at the front, I'll just try and take as many out as I can. We'll see.
Excellent, Ross. Well, you've been practicing a little bit with the Top Gear car pack. Do you think you'll have learnt anything from that?
Probably not. No, not. This is a completely different racing experience. So I'll give it my best.
Best of luck today.
Thank you.
Okay, viewers, so here's Mike from Xbox Magazine. Mike, you're in the flip car, certainly one of the favourites today. What are your thoughts for the race?
I'm hoping that the quality of the car is going to compensate for the lack of quality in the driver.
Absolutely, I'm sure you're going to be competitive today, Mike. Best of luck for the race.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
So viewers, here we are then for the second race of the day. We've got Ross in a yellow school bus that's absolutely rubbish, being overtaken by everybody there. And you see this field speeding round turn one. Whoa! Lots of speed there. Much more competitive field this time. The school bus sounds terrible at the back there. Monster Energy in last place. You see Mike in third place, going up on the inside, nearly a tap, some contact, certainly thinking about it. See Ross using all the track. Mike's through into second place now in the flip car. We know it's a quick one. Certainly giving it some speed. And the field's all pretty split up at the moment. The first two coming up on last place to lap. You can see it's close. Mike has really closed up now on a second place. Looking for first place on the inside, but he's being backed up. They're overtaking the Monster Energy van, or truck should I say there. And they're both through, so both the leaders are lapping. As Ross does his best there, but the school bus just isn't having it for him. As the first two come round, side by side, real close, and Mike takes the lead. Great for him now. These two neck and neck. Some nice aggressive driving from him. Coming up, second place, looks for an opportunity. There's contact. Oh! Mike goes up on two wheels. These first two making real contact with each other. And again, some more contact. As they're working their way around, a furious battle over the line. Oh, it's going to be so close between them. Fantastic racing. Great to see the Showdown event in action. The winner there. Drama in that race. Drama as we pick up some of the remaining cars on the track. As the cars park themselves up. An excellent race there. Obvious. So here we are then, some of the result of the current race then that Ross was involved in. Some real action in his second race of the day. Absolutely fantastic. Let's have a little wander around now, see what's going on here. The two winners of the race. And we'll get an interview with the guys in a moment as well. And we'll interrupt German TV. Guys, interview now for VV. So, a bit of action then. You were closing the gap, Mike. How did that feel?
Well, it felt pretty graceful as I popped up onto two wheels and just used that momentum to get past Jonty. But yeah, unfortunately, I didn't quite have the drive to get him at the line. But I thought I'd give him a bit of a love tap on the way out, NASCAR style, just to remind him who's boss.
Certainly showing some speed in those earlier laps. Jonty, he was closing up on you. Did you feel any pressure?
I did feel pressure, although because there's no mirrors in the cars and I couldn't actually tell what was going on, so it was a bit of a surprise when he showed up, an unpleasant one at that.
Was that a red miss moment?
It was a little bit. I'll admit to a little bit.
A bit of peak.
Mike,
I don't think Jonty realised that he'd won the race at that point, so he thought this was me, like, you know, going all Dick Dastardly on him. But no, it was a fair contest.
Mike onto two wheels. How did that moment feel?
I felt like a stunt driver. It was awesome, but you don't really have time to process it. You're just like, yeah, does the car still work? Yeah, it seems to still be working. I'm going after him again. So
brilliant, guys. Thanks for your time, Jonty. Well done for the win.
Good. Thank you very much.
So now we're joined by Ross again. Ross, we've interviewed the two winners. Obviously, they're in much faster cars, miles ahead of you. How's your experience trying to hustle the crappy school van around the track?
It's not so crappy. That school van is fast. Once you get it wound up, obviously. 2 litre Pintos, you really can't kill them, and that transit's proof.
You can hear that in the background. Certainly they've done well in trying to put it back together again. It got smashed up pretty bad earlier. Quite a few hits, as you'll no doubt see in some of our coverage. So your experience of the racing today, would you recommend a banger race to anyone?
I'd recommend a banger racing to anybody out there. I mean, I was talking to a bloke earlier and he said it's one of the cheapest sports you can do. And I completely agree, because these cars are a lot of fun to race. No one really cares about the paintwork, obviously. That's not gonna last a couple of events, but a really great time racing.
So unable to fight for the win today, but a good racing experience nevertheless.
Oh yes, definitely. I even got the transit van sideways a couple of times.
Brilliant.
That's quite cool.
Well, brilliant, Ross. Thanks for your time on that, and we'll check out a bit more of the game. Okay, so finally then, just to finish this video, we've seen a little bit of introduction. We've seen the professionals. We've seen the great chat with Christian Stevenson, such a colourful guy, and finally the race, the real Dirt Showdown race, which was a lot of fun for Ross. Of course, he'll be back into a transit van on his Forza Motorsport Top Gear review, on the Top Gear review pack, which he's going to be working on, which should have been up already actually. He's having a few technical woes, but it's certainly good to get behind the wheel of a real car from time to time and do some racing. So we can see there the 8-ball mode. I thought I'd just show you guys a close-up of some of that latest footage. And don't forget, there's lots and lots of preview footage on the channel already of one of the earlier builds, which includes all of the key modes that are in the game. And this is just a taster of the many videos that you're going to be seeing for Dirt Showdown on the channel, amongst every other game that we cover as well. So there's certainly going to be something for everybody, but if you're a Dirt Showdown fan, there's going to be loads and loads to go over. And if there's anything in particular you'd like me to see or to show you to test in the coming weeks, do let me know. But either way, there's something for everybody, and there'll be more from me as ever very soon.